There was a year in the late 90s when a computer shipped to more American front porches inside a box, printed like a dairy cow, than almost any other machine on Earth. And today, you cannot find one on a single store shelf anywhere. Go look. Walk into any electronics aisle in the country and try to buy a Gateway the way your family once did. You will not find the cow. You will not find the store with the black and white spots on the sign. The name that sat under 1 million living room televisions, the one your dad ordered over the phone and waited 2 weeks for, the one that came in a carton you were not allowed to throw away because it was too good a box, is gone from the shelves as if it had never been there. And the strange part is not that it died. Companies die. The strange part is that at its peak, this one did more than $6 billion in a single year, put a computer in one out of every handful of homes in America, and then, inside a decade, vanished so completely that most people under 30 have never heard the name at all. That is the story, not a chip that was too advanced or a lab full of geniuses nobody understood. This was the friendly one. The one built for regular families by regular people, sold with a Midwestern accent and a joke about cows, and it still went into the ground. Every week on this channel, we tell the story of a machine that lived in your house and then disappeared, and how the company that made it lost the one thing it could never get back. If that is your kind of story, the like and the subscribe keep them coming. To understand how big the fall was, you have to start in a place with no reason to build computers at all. A cattle farm outside Sioux City, Iowa, in September of 1985, a 22-year-old college dropout named Ted Waitt sat in a rented room on his father's ranch with a business partner, a phone, and a $10,000 loan that his own grandmother had co-signed against a certificate of deposit. That was the whole company. No factory, no investors, no software of their own. Waitt had worked a few months at a computer store and walked away with one idea that everyone else in the industry thought was too simple to matter. Skip the store. Sell the computer straight to the person who wanted it, over the telephone, and pass the money you saved on the middleman back to them as a lower price. At first, they did not even sell computers. Waitt and his partner sold add-on parts and software for one specific Texas Instruments home computer, working the phones out of that farmhouse. But the moment they started building complete machines to order, taking a call, asking a family what they needed, and shipping a custom-built tower to the door, something caught. The price was hundreds of dollars under what the same power cost in a store, and the person on the phone talked like your neighbor, not a salesman. In their first full year, the two of them and a handful of helpers did almost $1 million. Nobody in New York or California was watching. The fastest growing computer company in the country was answering its phones next to a field of cattle. Then came the thing that made the whole world remember them, and it was not a product. It was the box. Someone at the company put the machines inside plain white shipping cartons splashed with irregular black spots, the exact pattern of a Holstein dairy cow, the animal every one of them had grown up next to. It was cheap to print, black on white and nothing more, which is part of why they did it. But it became the most famous packaging in the history of the personal computer. A cow-spotted box on your porch meant a new machine had arrived. Kids saved them. People kept them in garages for years. The company leaned all the way in, putting cows on the ads, on the trucks, eventually on a mascot, wrapping $1 billion technology business in the friendliest, most rural image an American could picture. While every rival tried to look like the future, this one looked like a farm, and families trusted it for exactly that reason. The growth after that does not sound real when you say it out loud. By 1991, the company had officially made the cow spots its identity, and it was selling machines faster than it could build them. By 1992, only 7 years after two men started with a co-signed loan, the company crossed $1 billion in sales. $1 billion. From a farmhouse. In December of 1993, they took the company public and raised more than $160 million in a single offering. The stock ran. The founders became some of the wealthiest people in their state overnight. And still the machines went out in cow boxes, still the phones were answered by people in South Dakota. Because by then they had crossed the river from Iowa and set up in a town called North Sioux City, building a sprawling campus in the middle of nowhere that employed thousands of local people who had never expected a technology job in their lives. And here is the part that matters more than any dollar figure. For millions of American families, this was the first computer that ever came into the house. Not a machine for an office or a coder or a hobbyist. The family computer. The one in the den or the spare room, the one the whole household shared, where a kid did a book report and a parent did the taxes, and somebody's older brother figured out how to get online for the first time over a screaming modem. It was affordable enough that a normal working family could own one, and it arrived personal, built for you, ordered by name, shipped in that unmistakable box. A whole generation of people who were adults now met the internet, met a keyboard, met the whole idea of a home computer on a machine that came out of a cow-spotted carton. That is the thing you have to hold on to. This company did not sell a gadget. It sold the first one to the most people at the moment it mattered most. By the late 1990s, they were near the top of the mountain. At the end of 1997, the company posted more than $6 billion in revenue and around $1 billion in profit in a single year. They opened stores, real physical showrooms with the cow spots on them, hundreds of them, in strip malls across the country, so that families who did not want to order over the phone could walk in, see the machines, and buy one in person. At the peak, the company employed close to 25,000 people worldwide, from a rented room on a ranch to 25,000 employees and $6 billion, all in a little over a decade. It looked untouchable. It looked like one of the permanent names, like something your grandchildren would grow up buying. And there was a reason families kept coming back, one no spreadsheet could capture. When your machine broke, you called the number, and a person in the middle of the country picked up and talked you through it, patient, unhurried, like a neighbor leaning over a fence. The company won awards for that service, year after year. The stores were built around the same feeling, called Gateway Country, staffed by people who let you touch the machines and did not push you. You were not a transaction. You were a customer they seemed to genuinely like. That reputation was worth more than any advertisement, and it was the first thing the company would throw away. And here is where it turns. Because a company sitting this comfortably should have owned the next 20 years, and instead it started making the quiet mistakes that end empires. The first was a matter of geography and identity. In 1998, the founder decided he wanted out of the frozen middle of the country, and he moved the headquarters from the plains of South Dakota all the way to San Diego, California, a beach city on the far edge of the map. The same year, the company quietly dropped the 2000 from its name, because a name built around the coming millennium was about to sound old. So the 2000 went. And not long after, so did the cows. Chasing a more grown-up image to sell to corporate buyers, the company began phasing out the spots that had made it famous, the friendly farm identity that families had trusted for a decade. It traded the cow for a beach and the folksy name for a sleeker one, and in doing so, it started letting go of the one thing no competitor could copy. Because while it was busy looking mature, a company in Texas was quietly eating it alive. A rival named Dell had taken the exact same idea, selling direct and building to order, and run it harder, faster, and leaner, aimed squarely at businesses and offices, the fat part of the market that never stopped buying. Dell squeezed its costs to the bone and started a price war. And this is the cruel twist. The company that had invented selling computers straight to the customer got beaten at its own game by someone who did it better. Every $100 Dell shaved off a machine was $100 Gateway had to match or lose the sale. The margins that had made the cow company rich started to vanish. And unlike its rival, this one had almost no foothold in the business world and little strength in laptops, the two markets that were about to become everything. It had built its whole soul around the family in the den, and the family in the den was not enough anymore. Then, the floor gave out. When the dot-com bubble burst at the turn of the millennium, the demand for home computers cooled hard. And this company, leaning almost entirely on regular households, felt it worse than anyone. In the last 3 months of the year 2000, it lost more than $94 million in a single quarter. The founder, who had stepped back, rushed back in to try to save what he had built. It did not stop the bleeding. In the year 2001, the company lost more than $1 billion. $1 billion, gone in 12 months, from a company that had taken 7 years to earn its first billion. The stock, which had once traded above $80 a share, cratered. By the end of 2002, it was worth around $3. The workforce that had peaked near 25,000 was cut and cut again, down toward 14,000. And the factories in the middle of the country, the ones that had given a rural region a technology industry it never dreamed of, went dark. Desperate, the company started grabbing at anything that might sell. If it could not win at computers anymore, maybe it could sell everything else a home might want. It threw itself into consumer electronics, launching more than 100 new products across dozens of categories in a single stretch: digital cameras, music players, DVD players, and above all, flat plasma televisions. In late 2002, it put out a 42-inch plasma TV priced at just under $3,000, far below what the big electronics brands charged, betting it could do to televisions what it had once done to computers. It did not work. The company had no reputation in electronics, the products drew complaints, and some of those plasma sets failed so badly that buyers filed a class action lawsuit over televisions that died within months. The famous stores, the ones with the cow spots, could not carry the losses. In the spring of 2004, the company closed all of its remaining retail stores in one blow. Nearly 200 of them shuttered on a single day, and let go of the people who ran them. The showrooms that had put the brand on Main Street were gone for good. To stay alive, the company swallowed a smaller rival. In 2004, it bought a budget computer maker called eMachines, a cut-rate brand that sold cheap boxes through stores like Walmart, and in a strange reversal, the leaders of the little company it bought ended up running the whole thing. For a moment, it clawed back to third place among American computer makers on paper. But it was not a recovery. It was two struggling companies lashed together on a sinking raft, both selling low-margin machines into a market that Dell and Hewlett-Packard now owned. The cow was long gone. The name that had once meant a friendly family computer now meant a discount box in the bottom row of a big box store, indistinguishable from a dozen others. The end, when it came, was almost gentle, which somehow makes it sadder. In 2007, a Taiwanese electronics giant named Acer bought the whole company for $710 million. $710 million. For a brand that had done more than $6 billion in a single year at its peak. The purchase price was a rounding error next to what the company had once been worth, and Acer did not buy it to revive it. It bought the name, the customer lists, the shelf space, and folded the operation into its own global machine. For a few years, Acer stuck the Gateway name on mid-range laptops and the eMachines name on cheap ones, milking whatever recognition was left. Then, around 2013, it quietly killed both. The eMachines brand went first, then the Gateway name faded off the laptops. No bankruptcy court, no dramatic collapse, no headline. The friendliest name in the history of the home computer finally stopped appearing on anything, absorbed and switched off by a company on the other side of the world. What happened to the name after that is the small, strange coda. It did not disappear entirely. Years later, Acer dusted off the Gateway name and slapped it on budget laptops and tablets sold cheaply through Walmart. The same discount aisle logic that had swallowed it in the first place. If you see the word Gateway on a computer today, that is what it is. A licensed label on an inexpensive machine, made by a company that has nothing to do with a farm in Iowa or a phone answered by a neighbor. The cow is not on the box. There is barely a box. The name lives on as a price tag, not as the thing it used to be. And yet ask anyone who is old enough, anyone who was a kid or a young parent in the 90s, and the name lands somewhere the discount aisle can never reach. Bring up the cow box in a room of people in their 40s and watch what happens. They remember the porch. They remember the 2-week wait, the exact sound of the modem, the specific smell of a new machine coming out of that spotted carton. A single photo of a Gateway mousepad or a cow box can send a whole comment section into a flood of memory. Thousands of people who all owned one, who all learned the same first things on it. That is not how anyone remembers a brand of laptop. That is how people remember a first. The company measured itself in billions and market share and quarterly losses. But the thing it truly built, the thing that outlived every dollar figure, was a memory. The first computer in the house. The one the whole family shared. So what killed it? It was not that the machines were bad. The machines were fine. Ordinary. Exactly what a family needed. What broke was harder to see. The company that had won by being the friendly one, the personal one, the neighbor on the phone, decided it wanted to be something bigger and colder, and in reaching for the corporate market and the beach and the mature image, it let go of the cow, let go of the family, let go of the one thing no rival could ever build in a factory. And the moment it stopped being the trusted machine in the den, a leaner company beat it at selling computers, a burst bubble took away the households it depended on, and there was nothing left underneath. It had traded its whole identity for a chance to be taken seriously, and it ended up taken over instead. Somewhere tonight, in a garage or an attic or the back of a closet, there is a flattened cow-spotted box that somebody could not bring themselves to throw away, sitting near a beige tower with a power button that still works. The company that shipped it is gone, folded into a corporation half a world away, its name reduced to a sticker on a cheap laptop. But the porch is still remembered. The wait is still remembered. And the family that gathered around the first computer they ever owned still remembers the animal on the side of the carton, long after the men who ran the company forgot the one thing that made people love it. One last thing before you go. Gateway was not the only friendly name from that era to be swallowed and switched off. There was another machine, one that sat in even more homes, that came in bright plastic and taught a generation to type before Gateway ever answered its first phone. And its ending is even stranger than this one. That story is next. And if you had a cow box on your porch, if you learned to point and click on the first computer your family ever shared, tell me about it. What was the first thing you did on it? I read every one.